Well, hello, I'm Jonathan Chapman. I teach 6th grade at LBJ Elementary in Breathitt County. And this is a project that we've been working on for, this makes the 2nd year. So I've had a lot of students who have worked on this project. And it's basically a problem that we had at school with the geese population. We had a large number of Canada geese that were taking root and have been for a long time on our campus and in our county and our region for that matter. But we focused on our school and our campus, and it's a problem-based learning project where we identified a problem and then we set out to try to find possible solutions for that problem. Okay, so that just some information about PBL and what that is. We'll not spend a whole lot of time on that, but it's problem-based. It's directly it's a problem that directly involves the population, us, the students and faculty at LBJ. So, you know, geese are beautiful creatures. I think most of us would agree with that. You know, they're majestic when they fly and they look beautiful for that, you know, but when they're on a school campus, there's a whole other issue that you have to deal with, and that is their feces and their droppings, of course. So here, just some information about how they're a nuisance, and look how cute they are. You see the little goslings, they're beautiful, aren't they? All right, so there are 8 parts of our project. Part 1 was to describe the ecosystem, so we did that. We have an outdoor classroom which we utilized, and our location, and we'll get to that, is right on Pamboll Lake, which is a man-made natural reservoir, and it's a really inviting place for Canada geese. We defined the problem, we researched the problem, we identified our stakeholders, determined possible solutions, we developed a plan, implemented a plan, and then summarized and evaluated, and then reflected, and then what can we change to make it better. Okay, so this is just a location of our campus, Eastern Kentucky, Breathitt County. It's formerly the North Fork of the Kentucky River until it was dammed off to make a man-made reservoir. And just to give you an idea of the location of our school in relation to the lake, it should zoom in here. See if we can. Might have to tap it again. Well, it's right next to Pamboll Lake, okay? Literally our softball field, our baseball field, and our school, less than, I would say, 300 feet, the school, 300 feet from the lake. So we noticed, you know, there's these droppings everywhere, and we're playing basketball. You know, we're swinging. Anytime you're outside the building, it's a landmine zone, okay? So we decided that was a health, and you can see the outline of the lake here. And that's our school as it zooms in here. So that's the lake, that's our school, and it's obvious why the geese want to hang around there, because they build their nests and raise their young. Okay, that's good. So here's our nature trail. Some students that were on last year's 6th grade, they're 7th graders this year. That's good, yeah. Step 2, define the problem. Obviously, we've defined the problem as feces on the playground. It's a health hazard, because we all know that elementary school children are really good about washing their hands, about when they get in from outside, or any time for that matter, and they love to wash their hands before they go to the cafeteria and eat lunch. So we thought, you know, we got to do something about this. And it was actually the students who were always constantly complaining, you know, we can't even play basketball because every time they bounce the ball, it'd be literally, you could not step. And people in my school here, they know it's the truth. It was everywhere, and it's tracked up and down the hallways, just a bad situation all around. I'm getting ahead of myself, but I'm trying to keep pace. You can see Just some video here of the geese. There's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You can see them all the way around playground, and they get inside the preschool playground. They're on top of the roof. So we collected some data when we first started the project, and we had around 80 geese, and they were resident. They do not leave. You see them on the roof, their heads, and they would make nests on the roof, so our custodians would have to peacefully remove their nests, I guess, and it was just a problem. So we researched the problem. We looked and is anybody else having this problem? Can we get help from anybody else? So we found some other schools who had posted some things on the internet about Canadian geese, and we looked into what they were doing. One school out of Ohio, they had a company that was local that worked around the golf courses and city parks and things like that, that had a team of dogs that they'd bring in every twice a month or twice a week. I'm not for sure of the frequency, but that really was an option to us. They were too far off. It wasn't cost efficient where they weren't a local company. So we decided, okay, yeah. They had been hunted to extinction in the early 60s almost, and then they were protected, so that's why the boom in the population. Stakeholders, City of Jackson Parks and Recreation, we reached out to them. They're interested in helping us with our project. Sugar Camp Golf Club, they have just about the same problem as well. Residents of Pambo Lake, my father-in-law lives on Pambo, and there's a large population, and they have a hard time raising gardens, even though it's such rich soil for the geese. And then the University of Kentucky, and we'll get into that, and then the Humane Society we contacted, and the nursing home. Okay. Yeah, let's go to the next one. Possible solutions, predator decoys, streamers and flags just for a visual to kind of make them feel uncomfortable. A sonic deterrent system, which I'll get into real quickly. I know I'm running out of time. How much do I have? Okay, all right. Strobe light, deterrent system, and then a community addling program, which is the end game, which this is where we'd like to get to, but it's a really complex system. You have to get everybody in the community involved, identify where their nests are, and then you actually go, and when you go to their nests, you take the eggs and you spray them with like olive oil or canola oil, and it's National Humane Society endorsed. Basically their eggs don't hatch, and then they find other places to put their nests. So that's the most effective way. But it is a complex thing to do to get everybody on board, and we've not gotten to that point. That's the hope that we will one day. And I do want to say that is the National Humane Society endorsed. So predator decoys, you can see the kids here. I had some old plywood from some construction, and we brought the plywood in. We cut out templates. We painted those templates, and then we put those coyotes out, and it seemed to work. So our population decreased to about 40 or 50, and then after about a month or two, as we collected our data, the population began to steadily increase because they got used to the decoys. They were not three-dimensional. They were just flat decoys. So it worked for a while, but then we had to find other ways. So let's see. Okay, that might be in the wrong place, but just keep going. It has been a success, by the way. Here's our proposal that we gave to the, we was asking for some money. And the Goose Buster, this is the system that we installed. It's called the Goose Buster, yes, that's the name of it, and that's what it looks like. And I have a group of students actually today who are presenting this at the STLP State Championship at Rupp Arena. It just so happened to be on the same day as this event. So they're down there doing their thing right now. They're doing a fine job, I'm sure, because they've been the ones who have taken this project and run with it. And this thing, it goes off every like 10 minutes, and it's natural recordings of distressed geese. And they don't just turn and run, but over time, they move to areas where they feel less threatened, and they don't hear the coyotes and the distress calls. It has a gunshot mode on it, but we don't use that just for obvious reasons. But we reached out to the University of Kentucky, and we wrote a proposal. Okay, yeah, keep going. We wrote a proposal, and keep going. I probably keep going. Yeah, that was all that. So it was around $800 for the entire system. That came with a solar panel that recharges the battery that you could set out standalone, like if a farmer wanted to use it in a cornfield or wherever. But we keep ours plugged in the room, and they purchased it for us. Now let's skip ahead here. Okay, this is what the ARI grant purchased for us. It was the drone, and it wasn't really meant to swoop down and try to scare them off. We're not that skilled at our piloting skills, but it was more of an observation platform because we were having a hard time counting all the geese because our campus is very large and they were on the roof, so we couldn't see how many were on the roof. So this is what the ARI grant bought for us, and it's really helped our project. And I've got some video, I believe. Yeah, okay, so didn't play. There's a video. Yeah, okay. And this will be it, I promise. My hope one day is to have the kids be able to operate and fly the drone, and that's the other thing. So you can see we could really count the geese and get a good idea of the population and collect our data as we implement our different solutions. So this is our campus, and the reason I call it a success is that we went from, in a 2-year span, we went from 80 geese to about 4. We have, now I can't say that for the middle school because I think their goose population has actually increased, but we can only worry about our control area that we were worrying about, and that's our control area, what you can see here. And we have 4 geese that are pretty stubborn. They've nested there and they feel real comfortable. They're staying right next to the riverbank. I'm all right with that as long as they stay off our campus. So, it's been a huge success. The kids have loved it. I wish I could have had some of them here to help present, but they're presenting the project in the state championship. So, yeah. So that's all I got.